other cities. And we're seeing basically the winter version of Hurricane Harvey. It's obviously not the same thing, but when you look at the scale, you can have a relatively similar scope. People are dying. People are dying from carbon monoxide poisoning, from exposure to the elements. We have a lot of accidents. You all saw the 133 car pileup in the Dallas area just a couple of days ago. And so it's an incredibly tragic situation, and just unbelievable that the state energy grid was so unprepared for what we're seeing.
Yeah, you've called that situation a nightmare, and we're going to have much more on the energy situation. But what needs to be done to get power back to these people? I mean, you cannot live in sub-freezing temperatures for long without it.
Yeah, so the way it works in Texas, we've got the independent grid that serves the state, and the folks that manage it, the agency that manages, called ERCOT. So they have basically required that the utilities cut power because they are not generating enough power right now. So if there isn't that balance, the entire grid could collapse. The on-the-ground impacts is I have millions of residents here in my county who have been without power in these temperatures. This is going to be their third night. There are folks who don't have power, don't have water. The emergency workers that are here at our emergency operations center, my own family, my own home, right? We do not have electricity, and people, there's other impacts to that. So in trying to stay warm, we are seeing these reports of carbon monoxide poisoning. We are then seeing the pipes bursting so that folks also do not have the water. And the challenge is I can't tell my residents that the power is going to come back anytime soon because the state agency does not have any clear plan as to when exactly they will have that generation, that production back up. Every estimate they've given us has been overly optimistic. So I'm pushing for them to give it to us straight and to get this back up and running.
I read in the Houston Chronicle, Lena, that there are 300 carbon monoxide poisoning cases just right there in Harris County. And that's just what we know about that can be reported in this situation where it's hard to report.
Yeah, we fear it's the tip of the iceberg. I've got my Harris County Fire Marshal reporting that number, but we also have the hospitals saying they're seeing just an enormous number of carbon monoxide poisoning reports. We've seen just recently, we had an 11-member family, an 8-member family, both sent to the hospital. What you mentioned, the death of a woman and her 8-year-old daughter. I mean, it's very tragic. People are very, very frustrated. Folks were ready to hunker down because they knew the weather was coming. They did not expect this inability of the state grid to keep up. And so folks are also running out of food. We're doing everything we can. We've got warming centers. We are working with first responders and ambulances. We are coordinating with grocery stores and others, keeping the community informed. We've been able to keep people mostly off the road. So while we're seeing accidents less than we expect, but a lot of this is a man-made disaster because of that state agency. And there's going to be a lot of questions once this is over to figure out what went wrong and how we're going to keep it from happening again.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.